to power. Life's not that long, just a few short hours. So make each minute count, make every second matter. Just give me one more day to get it right. I need just one more day.
Transplant Talk with Nyshonda, Thursday, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. We are back and we are live. And I am your hostess with the mostest, Nyshonda Larimore, here with another Transplant Talk guest and moment. Right? So I'm super excited about today. I really am. This is my friend, my brother, my Marching 100 brother, my FAMU brother. So you already know anything FAMU, I'm here for it, right? So we are live today. And hello, Miss Lisa, how are you? We are live today, and y'all already know what I want you all to do, right? I want you to tell me first. Where you from? How y'all doing? What's the weather like? Where are you from? Just drop me some comments because I'm going to tell y'all right now, I am in Florida, and we are about to receive a lot of rain, right? So tell me where you are. Tell me how it's going where you are. And if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to ask. Okay. So I want to also put this information out there for you again. If you are thinking about becoming an organ donor, please make sure that you go to Donate Life Florida and you're able to fill out the application. And in the bottom, it will ask you, how did you hear about it? And you say other. And then I need you to specify save 1,000 lives. Okay. So guys, again, we are here. This is making a return visit with his new kidney. And so y'all, I have to tell y'all, I'm so proud of this one because I had a little hand in this story, just a little bit, not a lot. I'm not the star, but if any way I could help my people, my friends, then I gladly step in and help, right? So please, I need everybody to make sure that you do this. Now, don't be stingy. I need everyone to text, tag, and tell someone about this broadcast, okay? So right now, text, tell, and tag someone about this broadcast and make sure that you share. All right, text, tell, tag someone about this broadcast. Okay, and again, tonight's return guest is Mr. Rico Johnson, and y'all, it was such an amazing experience, and we will talk about it. He received his kidney just last month, y'all, just last month. So it has been a month since he has had his kidney transplant. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to fuss a little bit, okay, about what had happened. And what had happened was this. And thank you, Lisa, again. Thank you. Of course, she's from New York, all right? Who's another activist for organ donation. So that's Miss Lisa Baxter, live from New York, okay? So I want to bring him on. Without any further ado, I have told him I will not keep him long. And so we're just going to bring him on right now. So everybody, show him some love, give us some hearts, and let's welcome Mr. Rico Johnson to the show. Oh, I can start now because my parents are here. All right, my parents are here. So the Rollins family, who lives in Tallahassee now, by the way, they have moved from Merritt Island. So now they are kind of like our hometown. Our family's from Tallahassee, so our parents moved back there. Now let's bring on Rico. All right. Hello, Mr. Rico Johnson.
Hello.
You like when I said we gonna fuss a little bit?
Yeah, I figured that.
Okay, so just a little bit. And Rico, I know I just played your story again in April of of this year. I played your story again, doing that special month for organ donation. And we know a lot of people in the March 100 was still surprised because they didn't know about your health situation. And so hopefully some people from the March 100 has logged on and said hello, or hopefully they're going to share. But just in case people don't know, that is where we met in the March 100 when I came up fall 91 and you came up when?
94.
Yeah. So fall 94.
Fall 94. Yeah.
Fall 94. I was part of the woodwind section. Of course, he's brass.
Yes. French horn.
French horn. Yeah. What a beautiful sounding instrument, most definitely. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So let's remind our guests, let's remind them about your journey. When did it start? When did you learn that you are going to need a kidney transplant?
It was June of 2015. It was kind of a situation where it was a blessing in disguise. I had a friend who went to high school with me, and I was talking to her on the phone. She happens to be a nurse. And I was just telling her about how, every day I was basically taking a nap in my car in between work just to make it through the day because, I was so tired or fatigued and my head was hurting so much. My head was just throbbing and it would be in the middle of the day when I would need to take a nap. And she happened to call and I told her about it. And she was like, oh, no, that's not good. You need to go to the doctor. And I was like, yeah, it's all right. I'll be all right. I'm taking a little nap during the day and I can make it through. And I was doing this for a while. And she was like, no, you got to go to the doctor. She was like, I'm not getting on the phone until you go get your blood pressure checked or something. You might not want to go to the doctor, but you need to go to CVS or Walgreens or something to get your blood pressure checked. So I went and I was like, it ain't nothing wrong. And the man at the counter was like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, nah, I'm feeling all right. I just need to go home, lay down, take a rest or whatever. My blood pressure was like 230 something over 120, something like that. And she was like, look, I'm not getting off the phone with you. You got to go to the hospital. She was like, I will leave here and make you go to the hospital. You got to go to the hospital. And her being a nurse, she was panicking. And I was like, I feel like this every day. I just need a nap. That's all. And I didn't understand the severity of it. And so, long story short, she fussed and argued just like you did. And I went to the ER, and they said, "Oh man, we got to keep you. You got to get this down." And so I stayed there for about 2 days, and they did a biopsy on me, and found out that I had end-stage renal failure, stage 5 renal failure.
Stage 5.
Yeah. So the first introduction wasn't, oh, it's gradually getting worse. It was, they gone. And I didn't know it because I used to work out and play basketball and try to stay slim, but I would gain the weight, the water weight, and then sweat it out. Gain the weight, sweat it out. Played basketball 3-4 days a week. And so I didn't know how long my kidneys had not been working well because I was always fluctuating in weight. And like I said, this had been going on for a while. And so they told me, it was like, that's done and over with, man. You might as well start dialysis as soon as possible. We got to get you a fistula in your arm, and we want you to try to start PD peritoneal dialysis. Mm-hmm. We give you more flexibility. And that was June 2015. I went 2 years on peritoneal dialysis, and it wasn't really pulling the fluid off me. They called me what they call a slow pull. Mm-hmm. And it was, I started going to the hospital. I had fluid overload. That's what really made it worse. It started throwing up a lot, getting really sick, having problems, couldn't breathe well because I had so much fluid around my heart and things like that. And so they wanted me to go to hemodialysis. And that was like 5 years ago. So total in all, it was a 7-year journey. But hemodialysis started 5 years ago, and that was the best thing ever happened to me.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
I want to go back real quick
Yeah,
because
no
I
problem.
also have high blood pressure, but mine is now, under control. I was marching in a band and my pressure had hit 160 over 110. And we were like, what are we doing? Like, how are you marching? And they're looking at me as if I should have been over 200 pounds. Like
Right.
what are you doing? How are you going? But I'm exercising. I'm on the
Yeah,
band
right.
field.
Every day. Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing what I do. Like, what are you talking about? Not fully knowing that it is hereditary in my family, but
Yeah.
now that it has been, it's been under control for years, but having those headaches, that they don't feel good. Because when I was trying to be cute and not take my blood pressure medicine, when those headaches hit you and
Yeah.
you can't even open your eyes. So I would urge anybody, and you're looking at two people right now that's telling you, when you feel those headaches and they are kicking your butt, that's a sign of, it might be a little problem,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you might want to go
Especially
get
when
that
it's
checked out.
persistent. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I didn't have that I need to go to sleep kind of stuff, but I was smart enough to finally say, I guess by the time I got in my 20s, like, you better take care of your body
Yeah.
and take your blood pressure medicine. So please, ma'am, please, sir, do not do that. Make sure that
Yeah.
you
Please.
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So we are now in 2022.
Yeah.
Right. And we know that, as you mentioned, you've been on both types of dialysis. Which one did you prefer overall, though, over the two?
I preferred the peritoneal because it gave me more flexibility. I could travel, I could go, I could take the fluids with me wherever I was going, change them out. And people used to say that they didn't like it because you had a lot of these boxes in your house and stuff like that. And you had to have a special place for them and this and that, but it gave me more flexibility than hemodialysis because just like we had a past holiday weekend, I couldn't enjoy the whole weekend on hemodialysis, but I did what I had to do because you go to dialysis either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and so you had to be at dialysis on a Monday, and holiday still going on. And I
Right.
didn't miss any days. I didn't miss any days of dialysis. I did exactly what they asked me to do. I did the losing the weight part, keeping the blood sugar down, keeping the blood pressure down, or at least under control. And
Mhm.
and I was always there. So that part, I just made a decision. That's what I got to do.
Okay.
And I guess in doing that, I just got locked in to the point where I was always there. Or when I did travel, I got dialysis wherever I was going.
Mm.
I didn't skip days. I had it arranged that I would get dialysis in Atlanta or in Illinois or wherever I was going, and try to set those up. And then worst case scenario, you just walk into the emergency room and tell them, "Hey, I need dialysis." Wherever you go, and there's a hospital there. Most of them
Mhm.
have a dialysis unit, so there was really no excuse.
Right. Right. And people just dropping uh Auntie Tammy is what they call her. Uh did you deal with any infections while you were doing peritoneal dialysis?
They had me really scared about the infections, and I never
Mhm.
did. I never did any infections. I never had any infections. I didn't go in the water, and I didn't. Um, when I would shower or whatever, it was kind of like showered on one side, and then I would cover up the
Yeah.
the entrance in
Mm-hmm.
my stomach with a towel or a dry cloth, and then I would wash the other side and then hurry up and switch back to the other side. So
Yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of time like
Infection.
that where I was immersing myself in the water, and I didn't do much exercising or sweating
Okay.
because of this. They had scared you like, oh man, you could easily get infection. You could easily get infection, and I was like, by the time that ended the 2 years when it was stopping, you know, I wasn't scared anymore, but you know, they were really like, oh my goodness, you know, you could get an infection from anything. And I was like, I don't know, but
Okay.
I did what they asked me to do, and
Okay.
it wasn't working. So that was one of the things why I got off of it. Yeah, but it is kind of paranoia the way they make you feel like you could get an infection just walking around in the air.
Okay.
You know? So,
It's like airborne.
yeah, like the infection was chasing you down or something. That's the way
Mm.
you feel. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's move forward because I told you I would not hold you long. Let me just say hello. Hi, Sonia. How you doing, sis? Yeah, she say awesome and very smart on how you handled it. Right. That's what. Very smart. You know, sometimes they do listen. Sometimes men do listen to us. Right. Uh, so we're gonna go. Okay. Hey Tanya, how you doing? How you doing? Hey sisters. So I want to get to the day you got the call. We in 2022. The day you got the call. That day in August, right? Because I was already screaming, you know, reading it and then talking to you. So I was, you know, your real friends know how to cheer you on and shout and jump up and down, you know, for you. So
I'm here. I'm just making sure that I stay connected.
okay, good. So you know, your friends, your real friends know how again to jump for joy and celebrate you when things happen. And that's how a real friendship should be. So I'm always so overwhelmed and overjoyed when my friends call me and say, hey, we got it. You know, I got the call. Let's go. And interestingly enough, that was the first time you had ever gone live. Right. And make sure you check
First time ever. And I said, I just wanted to do something I had never done before because I didn't know how this thing was going to turn out. They tell you that's 95% chance, but that 5% chance that it won't work out. I just like, you know what? Let me just do something I ain't never done before just to say I did it. And who knows how this go and whatever. And I couldn't believe the love that I received, you know, just from doing that. And it was a hard journey, 7 years, because when I first started this and I told people I had dialysis or I had kidney failure, they treated you like you was a delicate little doll or something, like, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. You did. And so I stopped telling people. That's why a lot of people didn't know, because I didn't want people to treat me like that. I was like, I want to go and do everything everybody else does. I just happened to go to dialysis on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right.
And so I got to the point where I got healthy, and then you know, I did that. So when I went live, a lot of people were shocked and didn't know it because I stopped telling people. It was like, I just got to deal with it myself. And I wasn't about the sympathy or the pity or any of that. It was like, this is another thing that's happening in my life's journey. I'm going to get through this. God's going to bless me. I'm going to get on the other side of this. And I don't know when I'm going to get on the side of this, but I know I had people who would speak life into me and I believe were guardian angels, and people had gone through dialysis and was encouraging me. And so I just held on to that, you know, they made it through. So, you know, they ain't no more blessed than I am, and they ain't no more different than I am. And hey, my time gonna come one day. And so I just had hung on to hope. So when they called me, that was one of the hardest days though.
Really?
That was one of the hardest days in the 7 years, was when they called me, because they called me and said this: hey, we want you to be a backup for a kidney. And I said, what? A backup? They're like, yeah, well, we got a kidney and we're going to give it to this person, but it might not be a match for them. So we want you to be here because we know it's a match for you, but they are first, they are above you on the list, but we want you to be here just in case it don't work for them. And I was like, what?
Decisions.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, all right, cool, yeah, all right, I'll be a backup, yeah, good. I'm about to get me a kidney. She calls me back in 5 minutes and says, don't worry about it, don't come. we're not gonna do it. So I done went from way up here to way down here.
High
In
low,
my
high
emotion,
low.
high low, yeah. And then she said, well, wait a minute. I'm gonna call you back in 35 to 40 minutes, 35 to 45 minutes, and let you know whether we need you to come or not. So I sat here at the house. I wrote out some stuff to my kids, wrote out some stuff to my family in case this thing didn't work out. And, and I was like, this is my last day here. And blah, but what I'm saying is I wanted my affairs in order, but I still had hope. I believed, like I said, but I didn't want to leave stuff unfinished because I got a lot of stuff going on, and they called me out of the blue. And it's not like I can be prepared for them calling me out of the blue and be like, no, that's okay. I want to do it next week. Okay. Once I get everything together. And I was like, I had to kind of put some stuff together real quick. Right.
Okay.
Man, it took them an hour to call me back. I called them back and be like, are y'all sure y'all want me to come? And she said, yeah, give us a few minutes. And then she called me back and said, yeah, we don't want you to be a backup. We want you to come on in and get a kidney. And I was like, okay, here we go. Yeah. So, I was like up, down. And I was like, man, this is wow, this is crazy. So the first part I was really happy, the second part I was sad. And then then I'm sitting here waiting in anticipation, and then they don't call back, and I called them and they're like, okay, we'll get with you. And then she called and she tell me to come on down there and I won't be a backup. I am gonna get the kidney. I was like, man, yeah, I'm excited now. So yeah. And then like I said, that's how the video came about. Because when I got there, I was like, well, maybe I should share this experience with some people and share this journey. So now that I know that it's going to happen. Right. Yeah.
You're right. So so we got the call. We had to get to Mayo. And you know me, listen, I called you so fast. I was like, what we doing? Tell me what you need. Tell what, I already knew where you were, because I was like, no. I just need to make sure, that he good. And I know people were on the way, your caregivers, I know that they were on the way, but wherever I could be backup to somebody.
Yeah, I give you that. Yeah, you was definitely available. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I was in the grocery store and I was like, wait, what we doing? Like, let's go. I don't care. I'm putting everything. I put the groceries back, and then he was like, well, hold on. And then I was like, well, come on and go, because when your brother needs you, then you go. Yeah. So it's interesting.
And I was glad to have you there, and it was just comforting to know that like you said, true friends, true people just show up and just be there, and so that was a good thing.
I had to be because I haven't had the opportunity. Like Miss Thelma was on her way coming from Atlanta here, and I haven't always had that opportunity to be with somebody, like before transplant or after they getting their transplant. And so it was humbling, to me, that you would say, what, I want you to be there, or I'm gonna you allowed me to be in your bubble, in your space. And I'm forever grateful to that. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I got to see his first steps, and we know how men are with pain, because they don't always like it, And so I'm giving him, first of all, I'm giving him 100 mantra. All right, we 100 strong. We got this.
We got this. That's right.
We got to do it. We in pre-drill right now. So I'm telling him, kind of like I'm a football player, but it's band jargon. So we are, I'm just telling him that, this is the 100. This is our pre-drill, and this is where we're going and what we're going to do. So I'm forever grateful, guys. And I'm telling you, I watched him get up out of that seat and walk. And I was like, yes, now we can't give up. I watched him walk down the hall and come around. And I was just overjoyed that one, God had given you the opportunity to have, a second chance because somebody said yes to becoming an organ donor.
Organ donor. Yep.
So I'm,
Exactly.
forever, forever grateful. But I want you to talk about those dates. And I know I said I won't hold you long, but I
It's
want you to
okay. It's okay.
talk about those dates and what they meant to you. You remember telling me about the
Yeah. So, um, not a lot of people believe in numerology or subscribe to numerology, this or that. But for those of you that do, it was 7 years that I went through this. And if you understand numerology and you understand scripture and you understand numbers of the Bible, 7 years is the time of completion. And it was the 8th month, August.
mm-hmm,
8 is new beginnings.
mm-hmm.
And it was on the 3rd day. And 3 always represent the resurrection, the Trinity.
Come
And,
on.
and it was the day I got a second chance. So it happened 7 years on August the 3rd. So you got 783. And so I thought that was so significant. And my favorite numbers are 73. And it happened like that. So all of my children have 7 letters in each one of their names, and they all have 3 names. So 73 has been my number for years, and my name has 7 letters and 3 names. And so 73 is kind of our theme around here, and it's just amazing that it happened the way it did,
Mm-hmm.
and when it did, and I don't think it was by accident or coincidence that it happened that way. Some of you may feel that way, but I don't. And it's a beautiful thing. I can tell you, it's a beautiful thing. So
It is. It is
yeah,
so beautiful. It
yeah,
is so beautiful. And Arnett and Kim, hey Soror. Let me just say, hi Kim, hey Soror. And Arnett, our Marching 100 people.
yeah,
Our Marching 100 family, y'all know we love y'all, right? But still, y'all go ahead and share this with everybody so that they can hear. So we're here the day of the transplant, and we watched him make this transition. He did. A little hard headed, so I'm gonna say it. I'm going to say it because we
No,
all think that.
see,
Wait,
you,
let me say it. Let me say it.
you
We all think that we still young. We like still in our 20s, but we know what we pushing, right? So and I'm trying to tell him. I'm like, hey, sir, I need you to just, slow down, take it easy, and, don't be in such a rush. And of course, the man always feel like, I got to go to work. I got to do this kind of stuff. I'm like, if you don't sit down somewhere and because you just had major surgery,
yeah,
major.
but they told me.
I
The
know.
doctor said, get out, walk. The more you walk, the stronger your core muscles are going to get, the better off you're going to be. You got to be active. And maybe they should have had some kind of modification or description of what active is, because I took it a whole nother level. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I
But he
wasn't
got
straining. I wasn't picking up stuff. They told me
right.
that can't lift
Uh-huh.
more than 10 pounds, but I was moving.
Right. Yeah. But he listened to me finally, guys. He listened to me. I was like, sit down,
Yeah,
relax. Because we don't want this, we don't want any more hospital visits and unless it's just for a checkup. So right
yeah,
now there's no rejection. Everything's good. We are
yeah,
on the mend.
yeah. They
And
thought it was. Yeah, I had an episode where I had to go back and get checked out. I was vomiting profusely, and they thought it might be rejection. My creatinine was high, my potassium was high, and they kept me in the hospital for about a week. And then by the end of that week, they were like, "It's no rejection. Everything was normal. Everything was fine." And I know that was because of, a lot of people were praying, friends, family, people I don't know, people that she encouraged to pray, blah blah blah. And so, hey, and again, they said it wasn't any rejection at the when I first went there. They thought it was because my numbers were high, creatinine and my potassium and stuff. But then by the time I came out, they had gone down to normal range and everything was fine. And they let me go home. And so that's when I kind of realized maybe that, the little extra stuff I was doing was probably a little too much. So
You think? You think? Y'all listen, I gave him the whole analogy of now I done had 3 babies. You
yeah,
know, you done
yeah,
had major surgery, your body got to, get back, take your time. Let me tell you, my grandma, my mama, my mother-in-law at the time, they all telling me the things that I needed to do and what I couldn't do. And, just give your body time. So if anybody has ever had a major surgery, don't be so quick to get up and go. Let your body heal. Because I promise you, when you get to your 50s and your 60s, you're going to start feeling that stuff,
yeah,
So take care of you, take care of your body, and your body, as my father will always say, will take care of you. So just make sure that you treat that body right. And let me tell you, Jared said he had been reading the Old Testament recently too. So I guess he understands what you're saying. But as promised, I would not hold you long, but I need you one more time, my friend, to tell somebody what receiving this transplant has done for you. And then if they are still on the fence about becoming an organ donor, tell them why it's so important. So did you get all of that? Did I give you too much?
I did. I
Okay.
did. The transplant has for one, just a second chance at life. And it's not just a second chance, it's an opportunity to not waste the moment, not waste the time, not waste the giftings, not waste the callings or the things that are in you that you may not have purposely went after or used before. It is really an opportunity now to say, why am I not trying that? Why am I not doing that? Why am I not? What do I have to fear? I already faced death and walked out of that situation. And so, what else is there? And so it gives you a level of confidence to be like, there ain't nothing I need to be afraid of now. I was sitting in dialysis, and I used to call that place the Valley of the Shadow of Death, because the person sitting next to you, you might not even see them next week. Or you done struck up a friendship with somebody at the dialysis center and they pass. And so it was always something like that. And I refused to let that get to me and let that get in my spirit and get in my mind. And so it means, a whole lot. I'm really purposeful with my kids and just want them to understand that, this is what happens when you don't do right, when you don't keep your health right, when you aren't living right in your younger days. They can affect your current life. And so we talk about that a lot and dealt with that a lot, and hope they understand that, your health is your wealth. And regardless of how much money you got, you can name many wealthy people that have died and they wish they could have their health back.
Right.
And so, but then on the other side of that thing, I encourage everybody to be an organ donor. I know a lot of people are afraid of, oh, if something happened to me, they're gonna, if I'm on the borderline, they're gonna kill me because they want my organs. Well, Jesus said this: "There's no greater sacrifice than to lay down your life for a friend." And when you become an organ donor, that's what you're doing. You're saying, I'm thinking about somebody else, not just myself. And if it means that my life is beneficial for somebody else, then so be it. So it's really the greatest sacrifice you can make, by just saying, okay, I'm becoming an organ donor, because they gave me two options. You can get an organ donor from somebody who had a heart attack or somebody who was brain dead. And I know that's very sobering for some of you, but they were like, we would rather you have a kidney from someone who's brain dead. Their body is working. Their body, we know exactly where they've been and what they've been doing. But the family said, okay, now it's time to allow that person to leave this place. But when they did that, they had already had plans for just about the person. Somebody got his eyes, somebody got his organs, somebody got, and it's like now somebody else has a second chance at life because of him.
Right.
And it is not, to make it super dramatic, but again, somebody laid down themselves and said, I want to help somebody else.
Right.
And that is a big sacrifice. And everybody should consider, if not do it.
Right. Don't be right. It's a selfless act.
Yes.
It's a selfless act that one commits to. It's really selfish. Now, I promised I was going to let you go, but there were do you remember how many people received the transplant at Mayo? Like when we were there, the doctor came.
Yeah. They had said for this year already. So that was August when I was there. They had done 300 transplants so far. Now, mind you, they are the best in the world. And it was amazing that I got to Jacksonville and then find out that I needed a kidney transplant, and then I'm in the best place in the world to get one.
Right.
So that that ain't by accident either, but nonetheless,
right.
Nonetheless, for time's sake, he was saying that they had done hearts, lungs, pancreas, kidneys, that they are basically, for lack of better words, they're a conveyor belt for transplant.
Right.
And they get people in and get people out, and they do transplant, and they do it so well that they can do it at a high level. And when they tell you, yeah, you got a 95% chance of being successful, well, we got to tell you that there's a 5% chance that you won't be. They don't even really focus on the 5% because they are so good at what they do. But they'd have to tell you that because there is that chance.
Right. I mean, yeah. But I appreciate you again for allowing me to be on that journey with you.
Yeah, so, I appreciate you being there.
So I could see. Yes, definitely shout out to Mayo for all that they have done for the organ donation community, for the organ donor communities. And nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. So I know a few people that now they need another, transplant. So for my friends in California, my friend who hosts with me the mental health part, Mr. Emmett Henderson, and my other friend, Mr. CJ, Emmett had a kidney, and he's like the male lupus warrior, and then CJ, that was a friend of my late husband's, and now so they both need another transplant. So we are hoping and praying, and guess what, guys? In October, they are going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So
it's not unheard of, and they keep asking me, is this your first one or your second one? So the second one is not uncommon or unheard of. So I would encourage them to keep the faith, man. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. So with that being said, everybody, that is the end of the show. And I do want to send a special prayer for one of my students who was supposed to be on the show when for graduation. He's in the hospital and he's fighting. He received a transplant, but unfortunately, there are some unforeseen problems that have happened. So we're going to pray for him and his family, and hopefully that he makes it through. And thank you, everybody. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Just making sure that you share, you text, tell, and tag somebody, and make sure that you become an organ donor and help save someone's life. And as you could see, I don't know if y'all remember, but I had 5 people. Now my student made 6 that received a life-saving transplant, and they are going to be on the show. Thank you, baby. They're going to be on the show September and October. Okay, so don't forget, next week I will have Auntie Tammy back on the show with her beautiful daughter Skylar for part 2. So until next time, everybody, God bless you and may God keep you is our prayer. And so we're going to go out, and I'm going to play my theme song. Thank you again to Mr. Frank Cleveland for that way. Somebody else saying something as well. Thank you to I Am a Donor. Thank you, classmate. I do appreciate you being just being aware that we need this organ donor. We need this kind of information to be out there, because organ donation does not only save lives, organ donation changes lives. So until next week with Auntie Tammy and Skylar, God bless you. Good night. Stay right there.
I need just one more day, just one more hour to speak the truth to power. Life's not that long, just a few short hours. So make each minute count, make every second matter. Just give me one more day to get it right. I need just one more day.
Transplant Talk with Nyshonda, Thursday, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube.